History textbooks tell us about Sir Stamford Raffles establishing a British trading post in Singapore in 1819. But how did Singapore first catch his attention? Who came before the British? And what stories of Singapore did they take back?
Hi, do you need any help?
Hi, I'm trying to find out more about Singapore's history before Sir Stamford Raffles arrived in 1819.
You're in the right place. Our national collection has over 1.9 million items.
Wow, that's impressive! Where can I even begin?
That's one of the reasons why NLB offers fellowship and residency programs to support researchers, academics, and artists in exploring our collections.
Oh, can you tell me more about the programs?
Sure. We have several fellowships, but today we're focusing on 3 of them: the Lee Kong Chian Research Fellowship, the Digital Fellowship, and the Creative Residency.
What are some things that the fellows and residents have uncovered?
Why don't we hear from them directly?
Hello, my name is Benjamin. My research topic was on the circulation of knowledge of Singapore and its straits between 16th and 19th century. I looked into the history of early Singapore. So how did others know about Singapore before Stamford Raffles? And the library has a lot of resources from the pre-modern period, which were very helpful in answering these questions.
What were some interesting things you uncovered?
Well, Singapore was already well known in faraway places like Europe as early as the 16th century. Cartographers, traders, and even priests wrote about it, mapping its location and describing it in their accounts long before Raffles arrived here.
So even then, the island of Singapore was already on the map.
Yes, your comment brings up another interesting point. The idea of Singapore as an island only became more widespread in the 18th century. Before that, it was described as a cape, a strait, a city, and even a kingdom.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Bye.
Hi, how was your journey back in time to early Singapore?
It was quite the voyage, but now I'm ready to learn about more recent history.
Let's do that.
Hi, I'm Upin. I'm a writer and artist with a research interest in popular photography. My digital fellowship topic was history of popular photography in Singapore and Malaya from the 1900s to the 1960s. My project focuses on the popular practices of studio photography and pictorial periodicals that were popular in Singapore and Malaya from the 1900s to the mid-20th century. I created a few digital story maps. Do you want to explore that with me?
Yes, please.
This map is about the photo studios and businesses in Singapore and Malaya from 1900 to the 1960s. And the intention here is to capture some of the stories of the owners, the employees, and the relationships that shaped the industry.
How did you learn about their stories?
The key resource that I used was the National Archives oral history interviews, which captured the first-hand accounts of the pioneers of studio photography in Singapore and Malaya. On top of that, I activated the newspaper archives, the trade directories, and also the published biographies of selected photographers from Singapore.
Where can I view the story maps you created?
You can check them out on my website. So apart from the stories on studio photography, I have also created 2 digital story maps on pictorial periodicals which were widely popular at that point in time. And the last story map explores a woman's experience in popular photography within a largely male-dominated field.
Thank you for sharing them, Wu Bin.
Thanks. I hope you enjoy exploring the story maps.
Hi, did the Digital Fellowship project capture your attention?
It certainly did.
While the previous fellows connected audiences to Singapore's history through research and digital presentations, our creative residents take a different approach to turn research into artistic and reflective expressions.
Hello, I'm Xue Mei. I'm a theatre director.
I'm Wei Ting. I'm a filmmaker and a theatre practitioner.
I'm Myra. I'm a theatre and puppetry practitioner. Together, under the NLB's Creative Residency Program, we created a project titled We Thought We Knew Collectively Where We Were Going.
We basically created an experience as a response to the question by how happiness differs across the different generations, specifically the millennials, the baby boomers, as well as the silent generation.
The experience begins in the millennial space, where you find an overload of information, and you see how they navigate their search for happiness through very rational and scientific ways.
The baby boomer space is quite different. It's filled with a lot of domestic household items. In a way, it's a reflection of how their happiness revolves around their family and people around and their roles in the household.
And we situated the silent generation space at a small balcony. It is a space where you see the least trace of the character's intervention, and they don't really attempt to shape their environment, but instead just work with what's given to them and adapt to it. So by the end, the audience will reflect on how happiness is shaped by time, societal expectations, as well as their personal values.
How did your research inform the creation of the art installation?
We looked at books, academic publications, and newspapers which reviewed societal trends shaping happiness over time. But we felt we were also missing lived experiences, so we conducted interviews with friends and family.
We consumed a lot of information only to realize that true understanding comes not just from data, but from reflecting on human connections and our surroundings.
Thank you for sharing your project.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back. How was your experience meeting our NLB fellows and residents?
It was inspiring. I'm thinking of embarking on a project of my own.
That's great. Sign up for our next intake. Visit our website for application details and important deadlines. I'm looking forward to seeing what stories you'll uncover from our collections. See you around. Bye!